Right. Last week we started the discussion about qualitative research methodologies, and then we discussed mainly about paradigms and uh, as an approach, what type of assumptions are under the qualitative studies, and also we discussed briefly when do you use qualitative research, and also when you do a research using qualitative studies, then what can be the outcome, right? And also I posted um, uh, three links for the three links for um, YouTube videos, right? I suppose you have gone through this, and then also I gave you another link. It is a research paper. I think it is here, right? What is qualitative in qualitative work? But it discuss about qualitative studies and methods and very important concepts about qualitative research studies. Right. Right. Also, as I remember the last slide, I included a list of keywords here. Right. The last slide, I gave you a list of keywords. Right. But I would like to start with we can discuss some of these concepts, and also during the session we will discuss. Um, I prepared a self-assessment quiz, right? But don't misunderstand. We don't use this quiz or any other assignment or any other work as um, formative assessment methods, or we don't give any marks for these assessment, right? All these assessment only for only as teaching materials to understand the concept that we discuss during the sessions, right? Then if you click this link, self-assessment test, understanding fundamental terms in research, I will change my student, and then go to the this, this self-assessment test, understanding fundamental terms, and right. Then click attempt the quiz now. I will write here the enrollment key for the quiz. ITC 3349. It is your course code, right? ITC 3349. This is the enrollment key for the quiz, right? ITC 3349. If you look at the quiz, ITC 3349. Start, right? Then you may have 10 questions. The time is 10 minutes. When you start, the quiz will be closed after 10 minutes, right? Please try to go through the 10 quizzes, and then we can, if you have gone through all the materials, I think it will not be issue, and then you can refresh your memory about the already discussed concepts. Right, please pass me a message if you have any issue when you are trying to open the quiz. You can just turn on your mic, and you can talk with me, or pass a message as a chat via chat box, right? Right. Now here you will see a summary of the marks. I will update and go to the session. Yes, here. Now it has updated. Right. Yeah. Now I will start today discussion, and thereafter we can. I have prepared some activities, but we can discuss them based according to the available time. Right. Uh, I will. Right. Before start this discussion, I will discuss the difference between method and methodologies. Right? Can someone explain? If it may be wrong, but I highly appreciate if you can type or if you can tell me the difference between a method and methodology. If someone asks, okay, what is a method and methodology? It doesn't matter whether it is in research discipline or in any other discipline. There is a very big difference, right? Method and methodologies. You can talk or you can type. Okay, I will start the discussion and continue. When we talk about a methodology is a complete plan or complete model or a process to do something, right? But a method, it is a tool or it is a it recommendation to do something. For example, when we discuss the method and methodologies in research discipline, a research methodology is a complete design to do a research. For example, suppose we have a research problem. Then when you select a research methodology, it will guide you to complete plan your research, and also it will guide you to do the other steps of the research. But when you talk about a research method or a single method, it is specific, it is a guideline or it is a tool, or again I have to use the same word, a method to do simple activity, or make it, or we can say it's like to do a specific activity, right? Especially this is very important in qualitative studies, right? Otherwise you may have issue when you are trying to implement a research project. For example, when we will discuss later about qualitative research methodologies. Suppose you are trying to find an answer about why student participation is very low for online lectures, or about students' perception about online lectures or web-based lectures, right? Then suppose you are trying to collect data, right? Collect data. First, you have to decide a research methodology. Sorry, not about the collect data. First, think about when you are planning your research, you have to select a research methodology. You can decide, okay, I will do a case study. Later, we discuss about case study, right? When you say case study, it means you have to select a case, and then you have to collect data. When you go to collect data, you can use you have many options to collect data. For example, you can meet students and you can interview them, right? It is a one method. Or you can conduct online interviews, it is another method. Or you can give a printed paper to write and collect. Or another method is you can invite a group of students and then you can ask questions from the group. Then they can interact and they can discuss. Then you will collect data from the group. When we call it is a focus group discussion. Now I discuss several methods how you can collect data when you are conducting a qualitative research, right? This is a simple example. Then later we can, when we discuss about research methodologies, then you will understand the difference between method and methodologies. And it is very important to uh, select, because when I go through previous year research uh, research papers or research thesis, many students just try it. They do qualitative research or quantitative research. Qualitative and quantitative are high level approaches. These are not research methodologies, right? Therefore, please remember, when you write about your methodology, especially in qualitative, sometimes you can just say quantitative and you can discuss. I think what you have already know about different methodologies, right? Uh, then I will go through the list of research methodologies, qualitative research methodologies, right? The first one is we call phenomenology. And then here I have given the definition and data collection implications. We are not going to discuss in detail all these methodologies, right? I selected only three basic type of research, qualitative research methodologies. But I will discuss these. Here also we use another name called approaches, but I think it is better we can say this is the phenomenon. This is a methodology, right? Uh, in phenomenology, focuses on individual experiences, beliefs, and perceptions. We mainly use text, and then we are trying to understand the human experience. Then you can see how we collect data. We ask questions and also we do observations. The purpose is understanding individual experiences, right? Suppose uh, if you are trying to understand uh, the life of a student, university student, right? Then you can select one student and then you can ask question and you can observe, right? Or when we go to the information system discipline, uh, we we can select a user and then we can observe how he is trying to use the system, or we can ask questions how he adapt to the information system, right? But it is very rare we do phenomenology studies in information system. But sometime you may have a unique research problems, and then you can use phenomenology, right? Also we can use focus groups and groups experiences, and we can collect data using other methods, right? Normally we do in-depth interviews and focus groups to collect data. Now here then you have a problem about, you may have a question, okay, uh, we are going to study about one person, then how do we conduct a focus group? I will briefly explain first what is a focus group. A focus group is uh, few members or few participants, and then we invite them, and then we will normally invite maybe 6 to 10 participants. There is no specific specific size, right? Then we explain the purpose of the discussion, and then we will ask questions, right? Then we will ask question from the participants. Then sometime when we ask questions, they will discuss these matters, right? That is the very important, that is the most important point, right? normally when we interview only one participant, but in a focus groups there are many, right? We will ask direct question, and also we can create an environment that these members will discuss, and then we will collect data through the discussions, right? Okay, then the next research methodology is ethnography. In phenomenology, our main focus is a single person. But in ethnography, we study about a group of people, or uh, uh, like maybe for example, like uh, the research problem may be same. For example, still we are trying to understand students, university students' life. In previous methodology, we focus only a student, but here we focus the group of students or community. Now here you will see definition: oriented toward studying shared meaning and practices, especially when researchers study about cultures, they use ethnography. Sometime we will do some historical analysis. Again, in data collection methods, questions and observations related to social and cultural processes and shared meanings within a given group of people. In general, it takes more time when compared with ethnography. Sometime it may take several years, right? Have you heard about this beggar in Sri Lanka? It is a book written by Professor Nandasena Ratnapala. What is it? He did a study about beggars in Sri Lanka. Then what was the methodology? He lived as a beggar, and then he tried to understand the beggar's culture. Right? I'm not sure the exact time, but it is not about maybe 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. Right? Sometimes you have to spend several years. Right? Especially when researchers study about different cultures, they go to these cultures and they live, and they will take notes, and that we call the field works. They go to the field and study, right? Mainly they observe. Participant observation is well suited to ethnographic inquiry. This participant observation means the researcher participate as a subject. As I explained earlier, Professor Nandarshana Ratnapala participated as a beggar, and then he observed and took notes. Okay. Yeah, please, if you have any question, you can ask via chat box, so you can unmute the microphone and you can ask questions. Right. Again, then how we can use ethnography in information system research, right? Again, suppose you are going to implement the information system. When it is a big project, sometimes it is better to understand about the community of users. Then the development can concern the findings of the ethnographic study, right? But now again, this is very rare, and normally do these studies in humanities and pure social science. The third method, inductive thematic analysis. This is a common research methodology even in information systems. Okay, before go to discuss about inductive, because sometimes we discuss about thematic analysis. When we discuss about thematic analysis, sometimes we discuss about inductive thematic analysis and deductive thematic analysis. Uh, then what is the meaning of this induction and deduction are very important two concepts, right? Can someone explain about the difference between these two meanings, induction and deduction, or inductive and deductive? We already discussed when we talk about quantitative, difference between quantitative and qualitative. Okay, please. I think it is very important. Even there are only maybe about 15 students, right? I will create three focus groups, and then you can sorry, not focus group, three breakout rooms. Actually, three focus groups, and then I will give you about only maybe 4 minutes, right? And then discuss the difference between um, inductive thematic, not the inductive, sorry, inductive and deductive, or the meaning of induction and deduction, right? The meaning in the research discipline. I will create three uh, breakout rooms. Uh, right. Hello. I suppose now we are discussing, but I can't hear anything, right?
Sir, we
have
discussed few things.
discussed.
Okay, we already discussed. Okay, right. Then I will go to another component.
එන එකක් අපි ටෙස්ට් කරන එකනේ. හරි.
Okay, please continue. I just want to check and I just come and.
Siki.
Yeah, okay.
ඕක තමයි මම මේ නිපුණේ මොකද දැන් මේක
Okay, right. Thank you very much. I think when I joined all three groups and it stayed about few seconds to know whether you are discussing, right? And as I know, sometimes you may have issues, practical issues. You cannot turn on microphone when we have the big classroom. Or me, for example, now since you feel like it is embarrassing when you turn on the microphone. But when you join to a small group, I think all of your friends, and also there are only 5, or maybe normally I will select 5 as the group size. Also, normally it will not record it, right? Therefore, you don't have any issue. You can turn on the microphone, or you can unmute and you can participate in the discussions, right? But now here, I will voluntarily invite anyone to share what they discuss. Right? There were 3 groups. 3 groups. Please explain what did you discuss and what is your opinion about the induction and deduction. Right? It doesn't matter. I don't need kind of definitions. You can use your own terms, and the most important thing you should understand these 2 terms when we are going to design qualitative studies, right? Okay, please share your experience. First we can start from the group number 1. One student from the group, right? Right, okay, I will start from Savindi Fonseca. Savindi, what is your group? What was your group? Hello? Or otherwise you can type 3 persons from 3 groups can type what they have discussed, what is induction and what is deduction. Or otherwise please unmute the microphone and share what you discuss in your group, right? Simply explain what do you understand by inductive or deductive, or induction or deduction. Or we can say, okay, inductive research when we talk about research, we can say, okay, this is a kind of inductive research, or this is a kind of deductive research. How do you differentiate these two terms? Are there any volunteers? Okay, Achini shared their experience or their opinion through the chat box. I think you also can read it, right? The main difference between inductive and deductive reasoning is that inductive reasoning aims at developing a theory, while deductive reasoning aims at testing an existing theory. Inductive reasoning moves from specific observation to broad generalizations, and deductive reasoning the other way around. Yes, right. Thank you very much. I think this explain these two terms, and also when we talk about inductive research and deductive research, you can understand the difference. If you go through these videos, right? In these videos, they discuss about the difference between these two terms, and also these two terms highly associated with these two different research um, approaches, quantitative and qualitative. Please, when you answer the questions, you can just select everyone, right? I hope you can select everyone. Then all participants will see the answer, right? Also, I got another answer. The main difference between inductive and deductive approach is to research is deductive approach is attempt testing, and again the same answer, but I will explain on other words, right? Suppose we are trying to understand why information system fail, right? Then we interview people, and then when we interview people, we are building a theory. These are the reasons. These are the reasons that affect on information system failures, right? Then when we interview people, we identify a similar patterns, right? Then we develop it as a theory, or we start from data, or you can go to any organization and then you can observe, and then when you observe, we will identify patterns, or you identify themes, right? Then you develop a theory. The final goal is a theory, but sometimes you identify some themes or some patterns, right? Then the inductive research start with data, and then they go to the aim is developing theories. But deductive research start with hypothesis, and then thereafter collect data to test the hypothesis. Suppose we will decide, okay, the management support will positively relate to the success of information system. Then we have a hypothesis, and thereafter we will prepare questionnaires, or we will conduct a survey to collect data about our hypothesis, right? I think now you have discussed not all about the research, quantitative research. You have discussed some basic terminologies and concept about quantitative research. Now here I will use this approach. I will do many activities, because in qualitative research it is difficult to understand these terms, right? But in quantitative, normally in quantitative research they are systematic and then it may be easy to explain conducting a kind of a formal lecture. But if I just go through the slides, then you will not understand, because this qualitative research need more activities to do. Otherwise, you will have only just idea about what is a qualitative research. But if we need to transfer skills, then you need to do more activities in qualitative research. That's why I am including more activities in qualitative research, in this qualitative research part, right? Then if you compare these two terms, there's a relationship between these two terms and these main two approaches: quantitative research methodology, research approach and qualitative research approach. But it is not always true. But most of the time, quantitative research methodologies we categorize as deductive research, or we are trying to test hypotheses. But in the qualitative studies, we mainly focus on inductive research, or we are trying to build theories, right? That is the main difference. Then I will discuss again our research methodologies, right? Now here, then, now since you know the meaning of the inductive, now you should be able to, now you should have an idea about this methodology. Although still you don't know what is thematic analysis, right? Now when you say inductive, this method grounded on data, right? Then what is a thematic? Just you can understand it as theme, right? Theme analysis, it's a thematic analysis. Right now, if you just understand based on these three terms, inductive thematic analysis is about we generate themes for data. We analyze data and we generate or we identify themes, right? That's why we say inductive thematic analysis, right? Also, sometimes we can use thematic analysis to prove some theories. Then we can say like kind of deductive thematic analysis. Then it is mainly considered as a quantitative methodology. Here you will see the defining features, or what are the main features. Draws on inductive analytic methods, involves identifying and coding emergent themes within data. Now here you will see new terms. Don't afraid about these terms. We do activities and we will understand all these terms. I mean, we do activities to understand these terms. Right now here again, you have a new term called coding, right? Now, as information system students, you know what is coding, right? But it is not the same term here. In qualitative research, coding means it is different activity that we do in a computer programming, right? There may be some sharing characteristics, but in coding in qualitative research, we will go through data and then we will give a code to represent the meaning of a chunk of data. It can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph, or it can be maybe it can be a word or pair words, right? Then we do some exercises, and also we do all these, not all, we select 3 qualitative research methodologies and we do exercises. Then you will understand what is coding, right? At this moment, up to this point, I think it is enough to know that coding is you will give your meaning or interpretations to chunk of data, right? You will identify, for example, like if you study about university life, right? Then when you interview, and then again when you hear the interviews, then you will identify. Sometimes student can say, okay, they don't have enough books to read in the library, right? Also, they can say, okay, we don't have Wi-Fi in the university, right? But if you listen to interviews conducted in a developed country, maybe then you don't hear these as their opinions or their ideas. Then when you go through these, for example, like maybe in a developing country university, then you can give a code when students say we don't have enough journal articles or enough books. You can say, okay, lack of resources. Also, a student can say we don't have access to Wi-Fi facility. Again, you can say, okay, lack of resources, right? That's a normal, that's a simple way I can explain at this moment, but we will go through the coding later, right? Most common analytic approach used in qualitative inquiry, right? This coding is very common analytic approach in qualitative inquiry. Again, this ITA means inductive thematic analysis. Requires generation of pre-flowing data. For inductive thematic analysis, we need kind of unstructured data, right? If we have, later we can discuss about different type of interviews and also different type of methods to collect qualitative data, right? You know what is an interview? We meet a person and discuss, right? Then if we prepare a list of questions, if we don't deviate from these questions, then we will call this type of interviews as structured interviews, right? For example, if I have a set of questions about online lectures, then I can meet the students and I can ask one by one. And we can say these are standardized or structured questions, right? The opposite is we can prepare open-ended questions. Then we just ask questions and then student can tell anything. Normally they talk about the topic. We just give only start and also we ask some supporting questions or polls, right? Then here you will see we call to that type of data collection methods in-depth interviews. We can ask, okay, what do you feel about the university life, right? Then they will talk, and then sometimes we ask some side questions to collect more data, right? And then focus group also similar. I already explained about focus group. We can invite to several a few students, and then we can ask about, okay, what do you think about the university life? And also we can ask about, okay, do you have enough resources in the university, right? This is a general or common data collection techniques in inductive thematic analysis. And also we take notes from participant observation activities that can be analyzed using ITA. What is participant observation? I think it's not needed to explain about observation, right? We observe, but now here we discuss about very formal observations, right? Suppose you are trying to understand organization and culture to introduce a new information system, right? Then how do they work at present, and then how it affect when you introduce a new information system. Then you can interview or you can conduct focus groups. The other method is you can participate and you can observe. You can go and ask, okay, how do you do this task? And then while you involve with the activities, then you take notes, right? Sometimes people record as a video, right? And thereafter, these data can be analyzed, and then finally the final outcome will be kind of a theme, right? So I think I miss now here we will identify pattern in ethnography and also in the phenomenology, or we are going to develop a theory, right? These are the final outcomes, right? Okay. Then the grounded theory, this is a well established and very famous qualitative method. Again, in grounded theory, we use inductive data collection and analytic methods. Now, when we say inductive data collection means like, like we collect data, and from the data, we are trying to go to abstract level theories, right? Uses systematic and exhaustive comparison of text segments to build thematic structure and theory from a body of text. In thematic analysis, we are trying to identify themes. But in grounded theory, we go for a deep analysis and we compare data, and we are trying to create very more concrete structures or identify patterns from the data. Right? That's the difference between the thematic analysis and grounded theory. Again, this is a common analytic approach in qualitative studies. We will do examples about grounded theory, right? Therefore, when we study about how to conduct a grounded theory, we can discuss in detail, right? Now today I will go through only a brief introduction about these methods. There are about 8 methods, right? Then I selected 3 qualitative research methodologies. The reason is these are very common in information system research discipline, right? Then data collection, again the same. Now I can just go through these terms because we already discussed, right? In grounded theory also we use in-depth interviews, focus groups. These are the most common data collection techniques. Right now here you will see in-depth interview is a data collection method. Focus group is a data collection method, right? I use the term method because it is a procedure that can be applied to a specific activity, or it is a sub-activity within the grounded theory. Then we say grounded theory is a research methodology, and focus groups discussion is a data collection method in grounded theory. Also, we can use same methods in different methodologies. For example, in inductive thematic analysis also we use in-depth interviews as a data collection technique, so data collection method. Again, this is also very important. Again, we will discuss in detail sample size. I hope you have still not discussed about sample size in quantitative research. There is a big difference between the quantitative sample size and qualitative sample size. In quantitative sample size, you will follow some formulas, or there are systematic methods to decide the sample size. Right? Malkanthemis will discuss, and also actually I'm not familiar about these methods. In qualitative research, when we talk about sample size, we don't have a very systematic method. So like a kind of a formulas to decide sample size. Again, we will discuss. We can discuss, and I will give you some examples when we do some demonstrations. here you will see the sample size for grounded theory are more limited than for ITA because the analytic process is more intensive and time consuming. In inductive thematic analysis, normally we will meet many people, but in grounded theory, we meet only less number of participants or less number of focus groups. Right? Still, I don't like to discuss a number 1, 2, or 3. We will say when we compare with quantitative in quantitative samples and qualitative samples. In qualitative studies, we select a pair. Right? It is very limited. Again, when we compare thematic, inductive thematic analysis and grounded theory, in inductive thematic analysis, we discuss, in inductive thematic analysis, normally we have more participants, right? Here you will see a special note. This is also very important. Many researchers incorrectly label all inductive thematic analysis as grounded theory. As a default, technically, they are not the same, right? I think if you understand this, it means like some researchers incorrectly label inductive thematic analysis as grounded theory, but it is not true. The reason is in inductive thematic analysis, normally we categorize data and then identify patterns. But in grounded theory, we go to in-depth analysis and we will compare data, and we do this. We follow the same procedure. We use a special method called coding in grounded theory, but we use very complex method when compared with the other 3 methods. Right? Right. Right. This is, I think you heard about the case study, but again, in research methods or research methodology, case study is not equivalent as we discuss case studies in other subjects, right? Normally in other subjects, they will give you a description about an incident and then ask some questions, right? When we will see the same procedure, but here, this case study is totally different from this teaching methodology, right? Now in first we can go to the definition. Analysis of one to several cases that are unique with respect to the research topic. Analysis primarily focused on exploring the unique quality. For example, suppose if we try to understand the university, how university student learn, right? Then we can select University of Jawaharlandapura as a case, or we can select the management faculty students as a case. Then we will limit our case to the management faculty, right? Or sometimes we will say, okay, if we study about only management faculty students, then we have understanding about the management students. Therefore, sometimes we can select science students, or we will include art students. Also, then again we have suppose now we select all these 3 faculties, but still we are within the University of Jawaharlandapura, right? Sometime we need to discuss about the Sri Lankan university students. Then we have to include more cases, right? Then we can include University of Kelaniya as another case, University of Peradeniya as another case, University of Ruhuna as another case. Right now we have many cases, but our main research problem or research question is understanding the university students' life. Right? Then we will compare these cases. We will compare these cases, and we are trying to understand the students' university life. Right? Then data collection method. So finally, what we have from the data collection, we have cases, and then we will select these cases based on unique quality. Then again, I will discuss case study in detail as a methodology, and then we can discuss about how to identify case or how to select a case, right? Again, we can use interviews, questions and observations to collect data. Again, we can decide the number of cases and number of participants based on the research problems and research questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So we can't see the slides now.
Okay, sorry. Okay, can you see the slideshow now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. At what time didn't you you lost the slideshow? Did you see it from the beginning or
No.
it's just now? Okay. Now I will briefly discuss this case study method. This is also popular case study method. In case study, we select a case or few cases. Again, in information system discipline, we can consider, suppose like we are going to introduce e-learning system for Sri Lankan university, sorry, Sri Lankan schools, right? Then we can select one school and we can go to the school and then we can observe, we can ask questions, and then we can try to understand about the specific school. Right? Then later again we will discuss in detail. Then it is a simple study called single case study, right? Then if we have funds, resources and time, then we can select more schools to represent the Sri Lankan schools, and then we go to many schools, and then we will collect data and we will analyze and we will compare similarities and also issues or patterns between these cases. Then we say it is a kind of a multiple case studies, or multi-site case studies, right? We discuss in detail later, right? Now, this discourse analysis or conversation analysis, we say this is a study of natural occurring, but normal. This is also rare in information system. What we do is, as you say here, like conversation analysis, we analyze conversation between people, right? Sometimes we can analyze a dialogue between an employee and manager, subordinate and manager, and then we will identify some pattern or we will identify some special meanings in these conversations, right? And then we bring these meaning or we share this meaning as new knowledge, right? Also, it can be a public event or it can be a document or maybe some already recorded historical data, right? These linguistically focused methods often use existing documents as data, but mainly we use existing document. Conversations between individuals that spontaneously emerge within a group interviews or focus group may be studied but are not prepared. Here also we can use interviews and focus group, but normally we don't prepare for this. Normally what we do is we are trying to get historical data, right? Suppose if you are trying to study about the student lecturer interaction, sometimes we can get some recorded audios a discussion between student and lecturer. Then we will go through and then we will identify patterns. Right? Participant observation is conductive to discourse analysis. Sometimes we will do this participant observation. Again, same as like we participate as researchers, we participate and then we observe and then we will get some data. Right. This is, I think this is the last one. No, sorry. But this is the last one actually. The next one is mixed method. I'm not going to discuss mixed method, but I included it because since it is very important. Narrative analysis means it is a kind of analyzing stories. For example, we can ask from university students, I tell you a story. Then he will explain, and we minimize our intervention when a person explains their experiences. Right? Thereafter, we will analyze. Sometimes we will analyze diaries or letters or literature or maybe interviews. But here, as I discussed, in these methods, we are trying to collect data as stories, and then we are generating narratives, and then we aim at, we are trying to bring in some important some messages from these stories. Again, here again the narrative analysis is not very common in information system, but you can use. Suppose always we hear about information system. It is very difficult to get participants to new information systems. They resist to use, right? Sometimes you may find or you will hear some success stories. Then you can meet key persons involved in the research project, maybe an information system manager or another responsible person for the implementation. Then you can interview, and then you can ask, you can interview or you can collect data, you can collect documents, and then you can write it as a story, how this person successfully changed the institution to accept the new information system, right? Then it is a kind of a story, but it is not just like a novel or the film, right? There is a purpose. The purpose is explain how to minimize resistance when we introduce an information system, right? But here it is only one person's story. That's a difference. Here, this is the last one, mixed method. Actually, here we are mixing qualitative and quantitative methods. Sometimes we cannot use quantitative methods or qualitative methods. Then we will mix. But at the undergraduate level, it is very difficult to conduct a mixed method. Even in postgraduate level, supervisors don't recommend to conduct mixed method research, right? But I just included now when you read articles, then you will find mixed method as a research methodology. But actually, it is we integrating qualitative and quantitative research methods, right? Okay, now I have another activity, and then we have about maybe 7 minutes, but I think you have another lecture about 10 o'clock, but we can take about another 10 minutes. Again, I will divide you into 3 groups, right? Although there are maybe 16 participants, try to answer these questions, right? Try to answer these questions. I think we can take um, uh, extra 10 minutes since we started about um, 10 past 9, right? I will give you 10 minutes for discussion, right? 10 minutes for discussion. I will go through the question because then you can simply understand the questions. Find an interesting research problem and select the best suitable qualitative methodology to solve the problem, right? Discuss as a group about a research problem, right? And then now here you have to select qualitative and discuss and then select the, then you don't need to give a kind of a concrete evidences. Now you know about these different methodologies, then select what methodology you are going to use to conduct the research, right? And then discuss about why you didn't select other methods, right? And also we can discuss, if we have time, it is possible to use a quantitative approach too, right? Okay, now I will give you about 10 minutes. I will create groups. I will try to use the same groups, then you are familiar. Please turn on the microphone, unmute your microphone. I will sometime come and I am trying to help you, right? Don't consider we came to just, we are trying to help you to start the discussion, right? Then don't interrupt, you can continue, and then we will leave the room. I will create these rooms, right? I will assign, if there is no students, if there is students without a group, I will open, I will put 10 minutes for this room and open.
දුලාන් කියනවා දුලාන් කියනවා.
දුලාන් කියන්නලු. මෙයන්
Right, okay. Shall we discuss about this? Can you see my screen? I will share my screen and then. Right, first, can you just explain about these, maybe first 2 points, the first and second point? Right, shall we start with the group number 1? If you have any notes, you can just type in the chat box and you can explain. You can just type as a point form. first tell about what type of problem you find. We don't need a concrete example. This is only an exercise, right? Who are in the group one? If I go to breakout rooms, I can see Savindi, Tirilian, Lakshana. Okay, please share your ideas about these first 2 points, right? What type of problems you discuss?
So, as group one, we selected the problem as the how students adapted to this online learning technique during this COVID pandemic.
Okay, right. So it is a good example, right? Okay, then.
So, and then we selected the method as a qualitative, case study.
Case study, okay.
Yes, because it is very, within this situation, it is difficult to gather information from many sources. Like we cannot interview students from different regions. And since it is difficult, we thought to like select a case as the faculty, our faculty of management faculty of University of Sri Jayewardenepura as the case, and then do some sort of interviews with students, or observe how they are coming to lectures, like how often they come to lectures, in average how many students are there in a lecture.
Okay.
And even we can use some quantitative techniques like questionnaire, like asking students to rank their satisfaction level of satisfaction, like very highly satisfied or moderate, likewise. And we cannot use the techniques like phenomenology because it limited to only some persons, like to a single person or some sums. So and so we thought like case study would be best with this prevailing situation.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. I think you discussed the most important parts. But if you use quantitative methods, then it will be a mixed method. Then it is not a qualitative research, right? Actually, you can conduct a case study combining more than one method. Then it can be you follow, you are combining methods. Then it is not a qualitative. But thank you very much. You clearly explained your research problem, what type of problem, and also then research methodology, right? Then we can discuss these things when we discuss in detail these methodologies. Okay, shall we go to the group number 2, since we have only about 4 minutes, right? Please, can someone explain from the group number 2? Or maybe group number 3? Can you hear me? Hello? Now we listen to the group number 1, right? Now, can someone talk from group number 2 or group number 3? Okay, now since we have about only 3 minutes, I will stop the today discussion, and also I will put some activities to do online web-based. I will upload to the this week, but it is up to you to go through and then read these. For example, like last week I put videos. The total duration may be about 20 minutes, right? Since the first video I already discussed during the session, it is about 15 minutes. And then I put another article. Then you don't need to read the whole article, but you can go through and then you will identify what parts are most important for discussion. Then we can discuss next week. Please please check the LMS. Then I couldn't update today some activities, but definitely tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon I will update the material for the next session. Right? Do you have any questions? Okay, then thank you very much. I will stop since you have the another lecture about 10 o'clock. Okay, thank you very much. Right?